Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of August 19th, 2021. The current character challenge is Blackest Night Martian Manhunter. That is a 1 week repeat. And the required characters for that are Cyborg, Sinestro, and Lex Luthor, who you can all get at bronze. So this is about as good as it gets. If you have characters powerful enough to beat the challenge, you're going to be able to easily get enough credits to buy those directly if you don't already have them. Mm-hmm. And there's a decent chance that you'll already have them, actually.
Yeah.
His passive is Shifter, which is John cycles through different offensive buffs. Life Drain, Health Siphon goes to his entire team. Increased power generation, and increased defense. He's got 1,000 attack and 1,300 health. He was last available in October of 2020. And kind of interesting, he has the exact same stats and the exact same sort of split into two stats, except in the reverse order of the last character, right? Arkham Knight Catwoman had the same total stats and had 1,300 attack and 1,000 health.
Right. And he's got 1,000 attack and 1,300 health.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you did that intentionally, but I almost heard the pause in John, like the apostrophe when you're pronouncing it.
Well, because there's different ways to do it. I know it's just supposed to be John. Like,
right.
The joke
John
is
Jones.
that it just sounds like a normal name.
Right.
But, you know, one of the ways to pronounce the apostrophe is with the pause. And also, it reminds me of Monster Factory when they made Jam.
Okay. So more about Blackest Night Martian Manhunter. He always starts on defense out of all those three options, where he only takes half damage, and that's blue.
First, he has a blue aura.
So the aura is what tells you what's going on, right? Because the defense is blue. He always shows up starting with that, but instead of having the full 14 seconds, he only gets 3 seconds of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because then you know exactly what to plan for when you drop him in. He's ready to eat a little bit of damage.
Yeah.
Power drain that's yellow lasts 14 seconds. Life drain, I think, is red, is the shortest and is only 6 seconds because I guess that's probably the most powerful out of all of them. Even though it's a defensive power, I think power drain would be kind of neat. But life drain probably is the one that can shift the balance of the fight really quickly when he takes your health.
Yeah, and it also doesn't need to be around for as long because you sort of save up a special, right?
Right.
To hit it in that, and then pretty quick, once you've topped your health up, you're back to not taking as much damage. You're ready to tank stuff. So I think it's actually good that it's shorter, right? In general, because you get the most bang for your buck by using specials, so you don't actually want it around for like 20 seconds because then after a certain point, you're at full health and you don't have anything else to gain.
Right. And there used to be a fun glitch, and we you know how we like to pump our own videos. There's a way back when, before they fixed it, if you had the full extra gear set to get the second damage over time, the gear set ability, and he was in the life drain part of his cycle, and when you'd reduce the enemy down to basically no health but still 1, and damage over time can't knock them out, so it's basically taking no health, he would give ridiculous amounts of health back to himself and his teammates, like millions of health. Yeah. And it would tick ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
So link in the description if you want to see that. It's just kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
And the Blackest Night team is actually really strong. But his passive has nothing to do with his teammates. So he doesn't even need to be Blackest Night to be a contributor to the team.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it's like the cheese. He stands alone. So in that's probably the biggest reason why I don't play with him as much, because out of the Blackest Night characters, right? Blackest Night Flash is almost necessary. Blackest Night Hawkgirl, almost necessary again too, because his passive gives the whole team the abilities on damage over time. She gives everybody a second life. And so maybe you stick him in as a third person for to take advantage of their passives. But I think Blackest Night Batman's unblockable chance for his entire team works even better as the third character. So that's a problem, I think, with Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, is that he's not part of another team synergy, but he's not the best Blackest Night character. Yeah. There's usually better options unless you don't have them.
Right. So this is this 22nd week in a row that the challenge characters have been following pattern that originally showed up in May 2020. If the pattern holds, Arkham Origins Joker should be next.
Yeah, this has been pretty exciting.
Yeah.
much longer than I expected. I really thought it was going to be like 4 or 5 weeks or something. But this week's multiplayer award is the Soultaker sword, which starts off as the ancient katana. We normally say it in the opposite order. And when you fully max it out, you get 30% unblockable chance on basic attacks, 50% life drain chance on special 2, and the evolved ability, which is a 15% damage drain from defeated enemies, stacks twice, which is almost sort of, almost doesn't matter, right? To say that it stacks twice.
Because it can only stack twice. You're never fighting more than 3 opponents.
Well, that's not entirely true. There's a few edge cases with like Atlantean Hero or something.
Oh, I guess so.
But in those cases, I would actually prefer if the Soultaker sword would stack over and over again, because then it would be a really funny counter to summonable enemies. Right. I think that would actually be a great emergent property. So I feel like it's almost entirely useless, and in the few cases where it is theoretically useful, it makes it a little bit more boring. Yeah. Which sucks. Yeah. It was last available in January of 2021, and this is, so it's the 33rd week in a row of a complete cycle of the rewards. Right. It's the second in a row of the actual repeated cycle. So what we were used to, because it just sort of updated, but the update looks like it was just a sandwich in the stuff that wasn't previously available. Right. So right now we're looking at 31 rewards all in sequence, and this is the second in a row of like a repeat of exactly what we expected before. But we have a strong expectation that it is locked into what it is now, because if there's no reason for them to keep shuffling it around. Right.
So it's a really good piece of legendary gear. And the evolved ability, I think, is probably the most important. Even though it's not useful in most cases, it is almost irreplaceable and necessary in the later stages of Survivor when your opponents have a huge damage roll. That difference doesn't really show up enough in either offline play or in multiplayer play.
Because in Survivor, it's like a huge percentage of your total damage being boosted.
Right. And it's because if you're not using a Survivor, it's good. It wouldn't really be legendary, right? The unblockable chance is good. It's one that offers a high chance and doesn't have to be a specific character, right? Because there's a bunch of gears that are only unblockable for the character that it's signature gear for. Yeah. And the life drain chance on special 2 is, 50% is pretty low. Yeah. LexCore, as comparison, LexCore chestplate is 100% chance. And if you're doing a damage drain, 15%, let's say you're facing people that have about close to the same attack as you. Yeah. Stacking twice, that's only 30%. You can get a bigger damage boost for basics from attacks. And those are only 3.5 star gears.
Yeah, so the advantage is that it's, for all of your damage, right? Not just basic, but practically speaking, you're always going to be able to boost a specific thing more. Right? And you're going to be able to boost it, the specific stat that you want more, and you're going to be able to boost it for the whole fight instead of just for the end.
Yeah. So we take good advantage of this in our How to Beat Survivor video. I think it's probably one of our most popular videos, so I don't know that we need to tell people where it is, because that's a lot of times where people find us as a YouTuber.
Yeah. So there we go. In the store, we have the Arkham Origin Joker bundle for $24.99 Canadian. So it's a clue to next week's. It does line up with what we're expecting. And what we always do here is give our sort of 2-week prediction. So if next week is on schedule, what we expect after that is Rebirth Green Arrow. And I guess we can say that with increased confidence, right? Because we've had 22 in a row. It's not like each, correct one increases the percent chance that the next one fits the pattern per se. Just because at some point it's either going to restart or end. It would be interesting if it is just cycling now, but I don't know if it would be a complete cycle if it did.
Right. So, I think it wouldn't actually. Yeah. It would not. I think we're missing some out of the current cycle that we're going through.
So, we'll see. We also have the character bundle Arkham Allies, and that is for $24.99. These prices are all in Canadian, by the way. It was $26.99 Canadian when it was last available. In October of 2020, it comes with Arkham Knight Batman and Arkham Knight Catwoman and their gear. And the gear for Batman is actually the Dawn of Justice one that's normally harder to get. So, it's a little bit of value.
And I do want to point out, this is probably a better way to set up the pack, because if you missed last week's Arkham Knight Catwoman challenge. It's going to be a while before she comes back, so it's almost worth it to buy it if you want her. But the real value in this is Arkham Knight Batman, where we've seen that for some packs, Arkham Knight Batman is available, but only if you've got the first copy. Mm-hmm. So this could be your way to get the first copy to unlock him for the possibility of one of the in-game resource packs.
Yeah, if you're gonna do real money packs, I think giving people stuff that they don't have a great chance to get otherwise, what really would be the value, actually, is if it also unlocked it in your store.
Yeah.
Would really make a lot of packs actually significantly more valuable. Like, maybe even worth it for some people, but as stands,
And so we've still got the Shazam Celebration pack lingering around for a second week, and the Most Wanted is hanging around a bit too. And we talked about that a lot more in last week's, and we already rambled a bunch, so we won't go into the same details this time.
Mm-hmm. In our Survivor, we have Suicide Squad companion gear until the 25th of August 2021. Phantom Zone is finished. Fight 62 is busted, as always. Last weekend's breakthrough was Raven, Superman, and the Arkham Knight, so expect this weekend's to be Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, and Martian Manhunter. If you want, you can check out the link in the description for a list from Devlin16 on Reddit of the complete breakthrough cycle so that you can track it yourself. And you don't need us anymore for that one specific thing.
Yeah. So moving on to current glitches. Remember, every working glitch is explained in a tutorial video that's part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. We are Android only, and specifically Android 9.0, so we can only confirm these glitches for Android 9.0.
Mm-hmm. So starting off with not working glitches, we have there's nothing for power credits that we're willing to endorse, and that we're sure works anymore because we're not keeping up on it. On Season 6, Episode 9 of our P&Q and CNA&T, we talk about the glitch that people were using and why we're not willing to endorse it, but we don't need to talk about it more because you're not going to find any help with it here.
Yeah, except just to warn you away from doing it.
Yeah. So other stuff that you might want to do that you can't get repeated past multiplayer season rewards. You can't get early multiplayer season rewards. You can't get through the Phantom Zone supernaturally quickly, but you can do it in about 10 minutes if you get lucky. And you can't get free energy without watching the video. You have to watch it if you click on it.
So all these things that you said that we can't do, we specifically mentioned because there was a point in time for each one of those things where you could do them, exploit them, and really progress quickly in the game. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So working glitches, as we said, they're in the playlist. So the challenge reset that requires a Google Play Cloud Save is working, confirmed on the current Blackest Night Martian Manhunter challenge. And an FYI, when Phantom Zone is around, which it's not right now because it's over, the Phantom Zone glitch to let you play it repeatedly is also still working because they are the same glitch. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes you get into the habit of resetting your challenge without thinking about what you've done in the Phantom Zone. And right now it doesn't matter, but when it does, you don't want to be resetting that because that progress can be slow. Mm-hmm. And there's a comment cut and pasted from Tanmay Kakde about what files you should move around if you want to save yourself from having to re-download more than a gig of data if you're on Android 10. Mm-hmm. And a comment from Jonathan Yang on how to reset the challenge on an iOS device. Yeah,
so there we go. The breakthrough glitch to let you play it repeatedly is still working. The airplay mode / refund glitch is still working. That's good for resetting any random drops that don't require an internet connection. So that's Phantom Zone and stuff that you have to pay money for.
Right.
Like real dollar money for. Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges. As always, return your clock back to normal before you finish and start playing and treating it like business as usual. And last but not least, in between working and not working glitches, we have the promotion glitch, which hasn't had the conditions since 2.14, but hasn't ever failed us yet and is here on a technicality because we like it.
Yeah.
And that's it for this week. We'd like to give a huge thank you to all the lovely folks who support us on Patreon.
And that is a big thank you to Victor Gomez, Consul Peasant, and Edwoon at the top tier last word, Sinemac and Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, and Eddydoo at the credited level, and Chris Wolff, Scarlet, Dani, Awesomegamer 241, Pavu RS, Gavin, Mallott, and Isfar E at the gratitude level.
Yeah, thanks so much for your support, and we'll see you next time.
Komoda.